Welcome guys, good morning. I'm glad you could agree to come meet us today, and I know it's a little unorthodox, but I'm really happy that we can do this group interview here. You guys have very different businesses, it sounds like, very different positions and experiences, so I think it'll be cool to see you here side by side and kind of see the differences and similarities in different walks of restaurant life. So what are those walks of life? Who are you guys and what do you do in the restaurant industry?
Oh, well, thanks for having me, man. My name's Falcon, but people in close would tend to call me Talon. I run a totally green, renewable taco truck, goes through Portland. It's called Taco Angels. We went with the app route for a little while, but we decided that to really get that word of mouth advertising is what we were going for. We got a few employees working for us, and taking it day by day.
That's awesome, Falcon. That's awesome. Or do you prefer Talon?
Yeah, Talon.
Talon, right on. And what about you?
My name's Debbie. I've been in the industry for probably like 45 years, since I was like 8 years old. I was buttering toast in the back. And I work at like a popular diner downtown. That's me.
Right on. So when you guys are on your way to work, how do you feel? What does that bring about in your mind? What's your experience going to a shift?
Oh man, well, life, there are good days, there are bad days, but generally speaking, I think I feel pretty good going to work.
What about you, Debbie?
Usually I'm just kind of deciding if I am actually going to go this time or just like drive off of a bridge instead. But if I actually am going to go, I'll usually play like screamo music because I like to get my anger out before I get there.
Of course. And are you guys ever sick at work, or are your coworkers ever sick at work, or do you find that you're able to take time off when you're sick and you need to?
Oh man, I would definitely worry about quality at Taco Angels. It's kind of a lose-lose if you go in with an employee sick. Getting all the other employees sick, might be getting our customers sick, so we really look at it as a team effort. It's not a one-man show. So if you call in, we'll make it work, we'll get someone to take your shift.
Yeah, I can't really think of a time that I've ever been able to get the day off. I requested it for maternity leave, but it was denied because it was a Friday. So, yeah, I've never really gotten a sick day off before because they get really pissed. If I tried to, I'd probably be royally fucked.
Wow, okay. What about injuries? Have you ever been injured at work before?
Luckily, man, we've never had any serious injuries yet, but, we get a few cuts in the fingers and whatnot. And when that happens, we get a Band-Aid, rubber glove over that, and if there were ever anything serious, we would just call someone else in. We're not going to have you work injured.
Of course. What about you, Debbie?
Yeah, it happens all the time. I can think of probably 5 or 6 examples where I've, been bleeding on the job, but, you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta get the food to the customers. Not all of us are lucky enough to be able to get time off when we're injured. So, yeah, one time I was in the back of the kitchen and they had, fucking, oil all over the ground, and my fucking non-slip shoes didn't do their fucking job, so, boom, I was on the ground. My ankle was broken, but I kept working anyway.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty bad safety issue. Do you guys find that there's any other safety issues at your places of employment?
No, I wouldn't say so, really. We tend to take that pretty seriously. We don't want anyone getting hurt at work.
I would say a lot, but, I don't want to get my job in trouble, so...
Oh, no, it's all right. Everything in this interview is totally confidential. It'll only be shown to about 20 college students and a panel of judges, and we'll totally change all your information. Great people, and the professor's nice, too.
Okay, well, yeah, in that case, I I get shocked by the soda machine all the time, and I feel like that's kind of an issue. And then also in the back of the kitchen, there's these like wires that hang down from the ceiling, and it's like right by where I wash my hands. So like every time I go to wash my hands, I'm like pretty sure I might die. So usually I just don't wash my hands to be safe. And then, the ketchup bottles. Whenever we run out of ketchup, we have to climb these shelves. It's like 3 stories of shelves. You have to stand on the dessert cooler. And then you have to kind of hold this shelf that has all of our china on it. And then that way you can leverage yourself and get the ketchup. So, yeah, there's some issues.
Wow, have you had any safety issues, Talon?
I mean, there's the occasional finger cut and whatnot that happens, and we have our safety precautions to deal with that. We don't want to contaminate any of the food, but generally speaking, we tend to take our safety pretty seriously. We want to create an environment that you're comfortable working in.
And speaking of comfort, do you find that there's tensions at your work, maybe between the front of the house and the back of the house, or just any other tensions in general between staff?
No, man, I wouldn't really say that there are too many tensions. We kind of treat it like more like a family vibe. We're really all friends. We started this business together. It's actually a co-op, so we all have a stake in the business. And if anything ever did come up, we really like to just you talk it out. You gotta do what you gotta do.
What about you, Debbie? How's your workplace?
Yeah, I mean, kind of depends on the tension you're talking about. We have a lot of violent tension, sexual tension, really all the tension. But we're just a big happy family, and at the end of the day, like, we can sit at the bar together and shoot the shit,
I'm glad to hear that. And speaking of people, how do people typically advance, if at all, in your workplace?
So the model that we're going with right now, for the most part, we're consistently rotating jobs. We don't want anyone doing that one simple thing over and over again. We don't want any of our employees to feel like machines. They're men, so we don't want to go with that. And then as for upward mobility, we're definitely a seniority-based place. If you put in the time and effort and you're really showing that commitment, then you get rewarded for it.
Now, Talon, I'm going to backtrack just a second. Did you say that all of your employees are men?
No, I was going with more of like a classic archetypal language there of like, we're not machines, we are man, not machine man with machine hearts, we're human beings. And we actually have a really good gender divide. It happens to be it's like 60-40, I think, men. So I guess we do have a few more, but that's just the way it happened with the co-op of a few of the college buddies were roommates. So
I do like that Tony Stark movie. How is advancement in your workplace, Debbie?
It really is based on who you know. So I've been a server for like 45 years, working the same 4 tables. I don't even get the bar lounge tables because Honey gets those because she's sleeping with the manager. So there's advancement, but really just depends on what you're willing to do.
So, do y'all find that your job gives you enough time to devote attention to your out-of-work commitments, maybe like family or other good interests that you have?
Oh yeah, man. It actually really works out that my grandfather's like my biggest fan, so wherever we stop on the weekends, I can always guarantee at least one sale with him. But no, we really understand that family and having relationships outside of work is important. So I think everyone in the truck and Taco Angels makes an effort to maintain those strong familial relationships.
Wow, Debbie, I can't help but notice that you're laughing. How do you think that your ability to balance work and life are treated by your employment?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I just find it funny that like other people have outside of work life. I mean, when I get off a shift, like the only thing I can really do is smoke weed and go to bed. Like, it's what you got to do to get through the day. Everybody in the industry does it. I mean, it's just the kind of job that if I was sober, I don't think I could do it.
Wow. So at your respective restaurants, what's your pay like? Do you feel like you get a living wage, and what do tips mean for you?
So everyone at Taco Angels receives an hourly wage of $14 an hour. We do have a tip jar that we kind of allocate equally at the end of the day.
And then you think that, and you feel like that works for you?
Yeah, I'd say it works for us, because on top of that, we also have, all of our employees have benefits, so they have health insurance, paid sick days, and regular vacations.
Wow, that's incredible. What about your place of employment, Debbie?
Well, I make all my money from my tips. I make an hourly wage of like $2 and something, but I'm pretty sure that goes to taxes. I've never seen a pay stub, so I don't really fucking know where it goes. And then, yeah, so I usually bring home maybe like $100 on a good night, and then like if it's a bad day, maybe like $25 in tips. And benefits, we have a first aid kit in the back.
Wow. Throughout this interview, are there any things I haven't touched upon that you feel are important for someone to know about the restaurant industry as a whole, or maybe just your experiences?
Honestly, I think the restaurant industry, it's not for everyone. You have to have a thick skin. Not a lot of people make it. I've seen a lot of girls get their ass kicked, and honestly, all I can say is it's not for everyone.
Yeah, man, I think it's definitely really important to look into where it is that you're going to eat, because not everyone is buying the highest quality ingredients. Not all employees are happy, and it's really not that good bite to eat is really not worth giving someone a miserable life. Damn. So the taco crumbles.
Damn. I think that's a wrap, much like a soft shell.
My grandfather Wolf was coming out with a walking stick company. Yeah, garbage himself.
Can I buy stock in your Grandpa Wolf's company, bro?
Yeah.
I'll be a key investor. I can't believe